Welcome to SharpenTheHustle.com podcast with Jesse Miller. We're working hard as a given, but results are how we measure success. We interview successful business owners that'll help you sharpen your hustle.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to SharpenTheHustle.com. I'm here with Anthony Franck, and he is the owner of Get More Leads Club. Anthony, introduce yourself, man.
Hey, how's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Franck. I'm super stoked to be here.
Man, I love it. I love it. I love the name, man. It's such a topic of conversation for every business owner I run into. Tell us how you got to where you are in business. How'd you land on Get More Leads Club?
Oh, man, that's a long journey. It all started back when I was just a wee lad. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, I was a union carpenter. I had worked for In-N-Out Burger for about 7 years. I left because I was just like, man, I don't want to babysit adults for the rest of my life. This is not that much fun. I loved working for the company, but what I loved was working with people and helping people and training people and showing them that even though they thought that they couldn't do it, there's a way to do it. And once they got that moment when they could do it and they figured it out for themselves with the training, then they'd have the aha moment. And I didn't learn this until later, but that was the rewarding part for me, right? That and some other really cool aspects. But I decided, like, at one point in my life, I just don't want to babysit adults anymore. I'm over that, right? So I was like, I got to find something else.
So you started your own business and got to babysit a lot more.
Yeah, right. How weird that it never got away from there, right? It's so funny. But yeah, so I moved on and I just became a union carpenter. And so that's what I did for about 5 years. But when the economy crashed, I lost my house, I lost my truck, I lost my chick, and I didn't have anything, So I ended up moving back in with my parents in my 30s, and I was making $500 a month mowing lawns. And I said, what the hell happened to my life? Like, it all fell apart when the economy took a shit. I went from making $30 an hour with a job that you work Monday through Friday from 6 to 2, and you get the weekends off, and you have all the toys, and you're doing all the outdoor activities, and, $40,000 truck, and you just think you got it all figured out. And then it all goes away, like at the snap of a finger. Like, one day you have jobs on the books for 2 years. One day there ain't no more jobs left.
Man.
You go to the union and they're like, hey, man, we ain't got nothing for you. Like, there isn't even a job site we could tell you to go ask a super for a job. So it got bad, and I moved in with my parents, and emotionally that just destroyed me. But along the way, I just figured out, like, I got to do something, right? And so I started asking one of my cousins. He was in business. He'd been an entrepreneur for years. And so I was like, what do I need to do? And he's like, stop watching TV and figure out what the hell you want to do with your life and go do it. Quit screwing around. So I went back to college. I asked him, like, is it too late to go back to school? And he said, no, it's not too late. It's never too late to get an education. So that's what I did. Went back to school, and I just started taking classes that were interesting to me because I had already failed out of college twice in my life. So I just started taking classes that I wanted to take. So website design, digital media, intro to animation, things like that. Everything in the graphics, multimedia, or GMD department. And I was just like, these are awesome, right? I was having a lot of fun. I was learning a lot. I was learning how to use Photoshop and video editing and all of these different aspects, building websites. But I quickly started to realize, like, what they're teaching us about building websites for a website design certification or program education, or even they didn't have like a bachelor's in web design there, but anything like that, you're really stuck at a level where you're just learning 10-year-old shit that's already antiquated. Like, I was learning website design with Photoshop to Dreamweaver, and WordPress had just started to begin its like 3-year stint of, like, people are using this thing, even though there was a lot of bugs. And so I just realized, this isn't really serving me that well. I ran out of classes in that department. I started taking classes in the business department, like marketing, advertising, selling. And I was fortunate enough to meet a new mentor. So her name is Bianca Filippi. She went to Harvard. She worked for the guy who runs the marketing department for Harvard for years. And she's worked with all the largest brands. And she kind of took me under her wing and spent weekends with me and after class time with me, and anything she could do, emails and phone calls. And she was just helping me get a grip on where the hell I needed to go if I planned on being in the business world. and what that was going to take. And it just kind of grew. And so I dropped out of school and I found another mentor that taught me search engine optimization, Chaz Key. And I learned a ton. I spent like 2 years working with him, and I learned a bunch about SEO, how to rank videos and web pages and websites on Google for any different terms you want, and what strategies and models you need to use to get there. And then I realized there's so much more than just SEO, right? There's so much more in the business and marketing umbrella than that. And that's when I just said, you know what? There's more to it than this. And so I started studying social media, and I started doing Facebook and Facebook ads back in like 2013. And I started working with this company. It was like the largest animal career vocational school in the nation. All of North America, and they were crushing it, selling an ebook that was like 4,000 pages that they wrote in like 1981 that they were binding and mailing for like $4,000, and they had some value add on the back of that, but they were literally going through as an industry leader for a long time. And when I came on board, they were getting their lunch eaten by 2 new competitors that were taking market share fast. And they needed a social media guy. And I wasn't really a social media guy, but I knew enough about being marketing savvy, and I knew how to get shit done in terms of graphics and design. Yeah. So I went right in and just said, I'll figure out all these other ecosystem nuances. I know what you guys need. You have terrible branding. You have miscommunication. There's all these things going on. And you're not nurturing the people that are your tribe members, that are your community, that are actually coming on the page. And we just blew it up. And that's when Facebook ads was easy to run. Like ads would blow up your community. And that's what we did. We just blew up the like ads, and that blew up the community. And I just nurtured people. And I started growing the page. So grew it from like 12,000 people to over 40,000 people. And we had, between like 12 and 15 comments on a post when I started, and by the time I left, we were getting 200 comments on a post. And it was just a matter of feeding that community and learning and leveraging all the stuff that they weren't doing and doing it for them, because they had the budget to do it. They just needed somebody that was hungry to do it. And after a while, I realized, you know what? The guy who owned the company, his alignment was way outside of where I was trying to go. And he was doing things that I just, integrity-wise, I didn't agree with at all. And so at one point, I just said, look, man, I'm happy to stay here and train whoever you want to take over the department. More people, the better. It's fine, but I'm not going to stick around. And so that's what I did. I started my own agency. Spent about a year working for some local clients and working with people. And then I realized, you know what? The best clients are the ones that already make a lot of money, because they know how to get out of their own way. They never bitch about the price. And they're more in line to succeed because they already have succeeding offers that continually have proven track record of converting sales. They just need some polish and some adjustment and some new level thinking. They don't need it all reinvented from nothing that didn't work already, right? And so I started working behind the scenes. I was fortunate enough to work with some awesome people, and it just kind of grew. So many transformational leaders gave me a chance to work on their team for a while, and you learn all these things behind the scenes, the mechanisms and the processes and the systems they have that actually allow them to make millions online. And you realize, wow, it's not what they're teaching you in the webinars. Not that they're holding it back, but they can't give you the core crux of what actually makes their business work on a webinar. There's so much to it, but when you're behind the scenes and you see all the pieces and the process and the mechanisms in place, it's game changing. So I'm just blessed to be here, and I love marketing. I love helping people, and it's come to a point now where I'm just looking to grow my own personal brand as much as I'm helping my clients.
Man, it's so cool. There's quite a few aspects in that I'd love for you to expound on. One of them is, man, the funnel craze has just gone nuts. And there are so many people that have no actual business, and they're trying to build a funnel like it's a solution for everything. I mean, that's like, to me, that's step 50. Man, get an offer, find a clientele that you love, find an offer that works for them, and then once you have those pieces in place, build a funnel. Go out and create a leverage piece. But if you have no substantial value, don't create a freaking leverage piece. What are your thoughts on that, man?
Oh, man, I love funnels in the sense that you have a landing page or a single action design that's made to do just one thing, and whipping one of those out really quick is easy depending on how you do it and what your approach is. But like you're saying, that's way after. First, tell me, who are you serving? what is your irresistible offer that they love and they just have to have? What's attracting them, right? And if nothing is, let's talk about that before you talk about what the funnel is, because how are you going to know what to write on the funnel, right? Like it doesn't work that way, right? The other approach is like the what do they call it? The ready, fire, aim approach. Okay, so I'm going to make a funnel. Who's it for? I don't know. I'm just going to fire it out there. I don't even know what it's supposed to say or if the marketing communication is compelling, right? You can't do it that way, right? You got to.
Yeah, I think there's a time and a place for it. If you have spare cash that you can burn up, that's a great time to ready, fire, aim. If you don't have spare cash and your business isn't profitable, it's not a great spot to start.
Yeah, that's spot on. Like think about somebody like Henry. Not everyone is ready for Henry, right? Because he can give you great branding, but you'll just go and fuck it all up real quick if you're not prepared for why you do what you do and the communication that you have. And I love his stuff because not only is the design just freaking amazing, but he's really good at, like he says, making it very simple.
Yeah.
Not only the aesthetics, but what it's saying to the user. Give it to them in a way that they can understand so they can make a decision.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, not everybody is ready for that, right?
Yeah.
Even if you built the funnel yourself with like an Instapage or whatever other software you like to use, or ClickFunnels, whatever it is, are you ready? Like you're saying, you're going to spend $97 in your business a month for a funnel building system. No knock on it, but what is that going to get you if you can't even convert the sale because you don't have an offer that anybody wants from you? So it all has to start with the core crux. And this is what I learned from my mentor, Bianca Filippi. She does marketing insights. So she literally sits down for big brands and gets in the head of people. Like, if you want to buy this kitchen timer, what does the time this kitchen timer holds in your life mean to you? Like deep shit like that. And she'll do it for hours on end because that's how big brands get to the pinpoint things, right?
No, absolutely. It's so incredible when you, small business owners in particular just market so backwards to the way that marketing really needs to be done. I'll get you to expound on that further today, but let's talk about, you mentioned something that I love talking about, and that's the context pieces, the things that you don't see on a webinar. Give us like your top 3, man. What are the things that you learned that cannot be communicated on a webinar?
Oh man, they can be communicated, but you're not going to see people teaching them.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that I've found to be true, all the big marketers that are making millions on their email list, they're teaching you something that they just did, what I would call a case study or a project or an execution strategy that produced results for them. But they're not going to teach you that this doesn't apply to you, the watcher, because in reality, you don't have a big email list over 20,000 to 500,000 or million. In reality, you don't have 9 or 10 or 12 power partners that also have a list that size that share their editorial calendar for the entire year with each other so that they know who's in line to coordinate mailing for the product offer, right? How to make millions on a webinar. They don't tell you that they've been doing this for a decade or more, and the reality is that you, the person that's just seeing this for the first time, has almost no chance or ability to do something like that without these other pieces they fail to mention to you. They just tell you the system, the process, how you could do it too. And it's not always that way, but it's that way in a lot of scenarios, Like, for example, if you follow Christian Michelson at all, he's one of the leading coaches in the nation, right? Biggest coaching company, 3 years in a row on the Inc. 5000 list. Huge. And something I learned from him, and this comes right back to what we were just talking about, you have to have a 3-word niche to make it mainstream or a 4-word niche to make it mainstream. Now, he could teach that on a webinar, and I know he has, but if you didn't go to his seminar or his event, you might not have heard him say that, and you might not have heard his hour-long explanation into why. Now, he's not the only one that teaches that. Eben Pagan does also. Maybe you bought a product from him a decade ago where he teaches it, but he calls it something else. He calls it identifying the power phrases. And the way that he says you need to do that is by interviewing your customers, your ideal clients, and finding out what are their pains. And after you've done enough of them, like what he says is if you did one a day for 30 days, you'd have 30 interviews, you would have identified the same phrases that all 30 use. It's the same thing my marketing professor does for the big brands.
Yeah.
So no matter who you learned it from or what, it's the key is you need to know the 3 or 4 word niche. It's not that you saw the webinar that they talked about something, something, and something, and how they make money doing blah, blah, blah with their email list, right? What I think people miss is they're paying attention to what they're learning. And I was in that stage for a really long time because you had to learn it, right? Otherwise, how are you going to know? But then once you're aware of what's actually happening, pay attention to what they're doing, not what they're showing you, right? Marketing is a game of psychology and communication, but with a lot of these big marketers, it's like a magic show, and only the people behind the scenes on the team really understand how to make the curtain open and close.
Yep.
Because they were taught by the people that created the process that had a show that needed a curtain to open and close, right? And that's not what they're showing you on the webinar. They're not showing you the process of we had to create the crux and the systems and the people and the teams, right? They're not teaching you that. They're saying, here's the milestones that you need to check on the boxes. And it doesn't work
Dude, a
like
play
that.
is a great analogy for that. That makes so much sense. I mean, yeah, get behind the scenes production. Don't just look at the person on the stage, man. That's an incredible analogy.
Yeah, it really is. That's what allows these guys to do so well, right? I mean, yeah, they've been grinding for a long time. They were in the industry. They were the pioneers, but they're also really smart. There's a reason why they are the pioneers that stayed around and didn't disappear, because they were really smart about creating these systems. And when you work behind the scenes with lots of them, you notice they all have a lot of the same mechanisms, even though they all run their teams different ways. Some do it mostly remote. Some have a big tribe and deep community building culture in their company, but they all have very similar process. Just like you find out all the rich people get up at 5 a.m, right? They all have these processes that just seem to make them the best.
Yeah. Really cool stuff, man. That's incredible. All right. Let's switch gears here. If you could educate a business owner on what they need to know about marketing in a nutshell that they would actually listen to and do that, man.
Okay. If you're already a business owner, you have customers. You need to get deep into those customers. What are their needs? What are their pains? Can you serve those pains? Can you do an exceptionally good job at serving those pains? If the answer to that is yes, then go for it by asking them, hey, I know you've been working with us for a while. We want to know, how's it going? What could we do better? Where are you at? And where are you trying to go, right? It's like I saw Brendan Burchard talking on the Genius Network lecture, which is a $25,000 mastermind. He's up there on stage telling people what he does to grow his Facebook ads. And what he said is you need to understand, where is your customer today and what is their aspiration? What do they want? And how do you get them from A to B? Because if you can do that with them, then they'll go with you again. Now there's a new aspiration and a new want. And so I think that's the key. You got to first look at who do you have that's buying your stuff, right? If you're a physical product seller, you go and look at the Amazon reviews, right? If you're selling services, you got to find out who's buying your stuff. What are they buying from you? Why do they need it? How can you scale that up and sell it?
It's killer. That's killer. So yeah, I love to call it serving the market need. And those are some great strategies to figure out what the market need actually is. And then, when you can touch what the market needs without them being aware of it, that's how you create incredible value in your offers. But most small business owners look at it backwards. They want to talk about themselves. They want to talk about their product. They want to talk about their services because they're so them focused. But man, I would just explain this to a guy the other day. I'm like, listen, one shift will make all the difference in your marketing campaign. Focus on your clients, love them. Let your business be auxiliary to your relationship, and everything will work out just fine, man.
That's spot on. I love it.
That's awesome. So let's get tactical with this. What does a business owner need to give a marketing agency for their marketing campaign to be effective?
You need to have an offer that already converts. That you know that nobody in your company fucks it up along the way from the time you sold it to the time you delivered it, and that you can meet or exceed the expectation that you put in place when you sell it. If you can nail that down and then you can get the process to duplicate it, that's how you can scale it up, right? Like that Animal College did with their their book. It was like a training manual that turned into, we'll also teach you this, that turned into, we'll also pair you with somebody to mentor you. And then it just kept working year after year after year. And then they just pour, like they say on Shark Tank, pour gasoline on the fire, right?
Yeah.
If you watch Shark Tank, you know it's the same 7 or 8 questions that they're always asked. What are your value? What are your sales? You know, what are you asking for in terms of money from us? What are you actually doing? And then they always get to like, what is your unique differentiation, right? What is your core crux that makes you better or even capable of beating everyone else? So I think every small business needs to understand, hey, I'm doing XYZ right. Double down on that, right? How do you do a great job at that for more people? Or how do you do an even better job at what you were doing so you're even more deep in the niche and further away from the competition, right? So you either got to go broad or wide, but either way, you have to have one before you can have many. So you need one converting offer. Don't go hire a marketing agency and have nothing to convert in an offer, or you need to have a really kick-ass experiential, you know, because like a lot of people like us, like there's nothing that we make that's sexy. We have to make it sexy. Yeah. Right. But for like one of my clients, their indoor go-kart racing track, super fun experience. Easy. It's easily the most fun ad we've ever created for Facebook. And there's so many angles you can take it and stuff. But even though they didn't have the greatest converting offer, they have a great experience. I can structure and position great converting offers for them. But that's rare. Right? 90% of all the businesses I've ever worked with, they have unsexy offers. Yeah. And so it's like, you not only do you got to find who you're trying to find and what are their pains so that you can really like step on those pains and make it to where it hurts for a second, but then they're relieved that you're the one that's going to help them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, if you can't do that, then you're in trouble, but you need an offer. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to come into the what they call the funnel, the process, the first step in the journey, you know, the slow lane to the fast lane, whatever you want. Everybody has their own way of teaching it, but yeah.
I love that communication. Marketing's just so expensive, man. I can't afford it. I'm like, dude, that's because you're doing it wrong.
You don't need to spend money to market, but you need to have good, clear communication, and you cannot have good, clear communication if you don't know who you're speaking to.
Yeah.
If you're thinking it's too broad or whatever.
If marketing's a budget line and not an investment, you're doing it wrong. And there is a lot of work that goes into doing it right, but that's why you need skilled people that understand the systems and understand the strategies that are going to work. I mean, it all comes back to that ideal client, targeting their needs, working them through your sales process, and delivering. I mean, freaking delivering what you tell them you're going to. It's that piece blows my mind, man. That and I see it so much in the marketing world that, and it's all about marketing, it's all about sales. No, there's a couple other pieces to this whole business deal. I mean, you got to deliver the results. You got to build the relationship. You got to have open lines of communication. I mean, it's all a big relationship, and it should be a system that flows naturally and smoothly. So
absolutely. I mean, I'm really great at sales. If I had a team that would just do everything that I want to sell, man, I could be like Grant Cardone, right? But
hey, let's talk, man. I'll help you build it out.
But that helps to put it in perspective for everybody, right? Even at all the levels that we're at and all the success we've had in our life, you look at somebody like a Grant Cardone and you realize the things that you don't have that he has is because he's mastered these other processes that they don't teach on the webinars, right? He'll get on the webinar and tell you about sales and 97 closes and 5 ways to overcome rebuttals, and I'm not knocking any of that hard Glenn Ross type of shit. But what I'm saying is, he didn't tell you about how he had to go through the pains and the struggles of sorting through 500 people that started working with him, had him waste his time teaching them something only for them not to make it a month or two.
Yep.
And finally he had found a new way, which he doesn't want to share with you how, that leads him to getting $200,000 people to come work for him that are A players, so he could pay them considerably well and start them out with an average salary because they're hungry, right? There's a lot to it. How do you attract those people, right? So don't be so focused on what they're telling you as what they're doing, right? Do what they're doing.
That's what I do for the business owners I work with, man. I teach them all the other stuff. Man, you need good marketing. You need good sales processes. There's plenty of people that do that.
And you got to decide if you're going to go broad or deep, right?
Yeah, no,
Broad
absolutely.
is tough, man. Broad is tough. I'm in the broad game. Broad is tough. If you're deep, look at Henry. Henry has gotten so good at what he does that now it's not just about his company. It's also a personal brand. And now he's that's what we were saying earlier in the conversation, far deeper into the niche. So he has the ability to have not only pass up the competition, but now he's so deep past them, right? So there's one or two ways to play it. It's either broad or deep, but you got to know who you're serving to do.
Yeah, and that difference is a difference in a couple $100 a month and 10, 15K packages.
Right.
And it's so huge, and it's so simple once you understand the system.
But even like yourself, you're able to take those steps, right? Because you already have the systems.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, the people you're helping, they don't have the system, but they want to take the step that they saw you take because they think that's the magic potion, drink all, save my business solution.
Yeah, the only magic potion is you. That's it, man. It's developing action. You. That's what it all comes back to. I mean, all the external auxiliary stuff, it'll have a limited result. That's always tell, man, if I build the structure and you're not connected to it emotionally, there's no point in it. So we're not going to do that. We get those emotional drivers out. We say, man, what exactly do you want? And we get freaking clear on that. And then we start building it. I mean, it's just, but if you do it backwards, man, it just doesn't work. It's a rigid structure that you're not connected to. It's heartless. It's lifeless, It's just nuts, man. But that's awesome. So that's enough about me. Tell me where your company's headed, man. I want to know what you're doing. I want to know what opportunities you're scouting right now and what you're working on to help your company progress.
I'm really going in two directions, and I'm trying to trim it down. So one of the things I'm doing is still like the agency model. I've been doing that for 7 years now, serving people, but being much more selective who I want to work with. And not just taking people on because I want to add more money to the bottom line on the retainer list.
Yeah. It usually costs money to do that.
Right? I'm starting to realize it's far better to just charge people what you're worth and make your life easier than giving them what that they really are going to have a hard time paying.
Yeah.
Because they're the wrong client, right?
Yep.
So one of the directions I go is to continue to run my agency and work on building that up and really being more selective who I'm serving. The other part is just building my own personal brand.
Yeah.
Really stepping up my game on the personal brand, closing off a lot of dead ends and loose ends and trimming the fat on things that are like 7, 5, 6 years old that I don't use. Like I shut down my Twitter account a couple months ago. I don't use it anymore. What's the point, man? I want to be where I want to be, all in. So rather than being all spread thin, right?
Yep.
Because I did the all spread thin thing for the first 5 years, and it got me a lot of little places that never really made any depth, right? Like we talked about, you got to go deep.
Yep.
So, even if you're in a broad niche, you got to go deep, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I like the broad concept as a lead generator. That to me, that's where it's the most effective. You're not going to make a ton of money. You can build a core team. You can break even on that, and then the depth is where you create profit in the business. So, man, it sounds awesome. It gives you that contact of, hey, I'm serving you. I'm delivering what you want. And it builds a context and a relationship for you to say, hey, man, I think there's some other things that I can add value to your company in, and that lets that process go deep. So that's killer, man. I love the focus. So you have an event coming up, man. Why don't you tell everybody about it? And that's what's bad, man. We'll go into some deep stuff.
Oh yeah, we could talk on this conversation for hours and have a great time.
Well, yeah, tell
Chris Burns to do the 12-hour marathon of just content that you love to listen to.
Yeah. Tell us about the event coming up. Who should be there? What value, what benefits are they going to get from it?
Yeah, so let me tell everybody about the event. So the event is called the Authority Maker Bootcamp. And what this is, I'll just be dead honest with you. Everyone needs an opportunity to actually get out there and get filmed speaking on stage in front of an audience. If you want more clients, more coaching clients, more speaking gigs, if you want to speak your way into new clients, if you want to meet other influencers that can become power players that also have big email lists and communities so you can leverage each other and working together and building relationships with people, that's who this event is for. So what this event does is it gives you the opportunity to learn from really top-notch people that are in the industry doing awesome stuff, and I could drop some names. But also, you can get on stage. You can speak. Jesse's going to be on stage, right? So it's a powerful event. One, because we got Steven Larson speaking. He's going to show you how they make millions with ClickFunnels, okay? Literally show you the funnels that they use. So how much better is it than somebody that pumped millions of dollars through in advertising traffic through their funnel, perfected it with the team that created the #1 fastest growing SaaS platform in the world, and we got his right-hand man, the guy who builds the funnels of the company, to come out here and show you the funnels they built so that you actually have their funnels. So we got that going for you. We got John Leslie Brown. We got Manny Lopez is going to be there speaking. John Leslie Brown talks all about building generational wealth long beyond your own years. Okay.
Awesome.
He's the son of Les Brown. He was the highest paid speaker the whole time he was under the age of 18 in his career, right? Guy's spoken all over the world, shared the stages with huge names, Steve Forbes, Sir Richard Branson. He's going to be there, okay? We have Michelle Malo from the Intelligent Millionaires Network. I got to come up with all the names off the top of my head. Yeah, we have Manny Lopez. If you guys know Best in Business with Manny Lopez, he builds apps. He's worked with Kevin Harrington, Les Brown. We got Seth Green. He has a podcast called the Sharkpreneur Podcast. The co-host of that Sharkpreneur Podcast is Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank, right? These are the best people in the industry in our network that we pulled in and said, we want you on stage and we want you to share with people. We got Josh Forte coming from the Social Media for Entrepreneurs. If you're familiar with that group, it's over 19,000 members of Entrepreneurs Strong, and they're all diehard engaged, okay? He's coming to share exactly how he builds communities and what he does, okay? So many great people. Michael Griffiths is coming all the way from Australia for this event. Michael is a referral networks expert. Okay, so he teaches people how to build referral networks so they don't have to buy advertising and they can identify the power players that can recommend and refer them business. And he has a whole system around this. The guy probably makes $100,000 a month, and he does an event in Australia and one in LA, alternating months, and the rest is just a group coaching program. And he shows you his entire system for how you can build your business using the exact same process that he uses to build his business. It's freaking awesome, right? Kelly McCausey is coming. She's the first internet coach I ever hired. She's actually teaching people how they can use white label rights content to deliver value to their users without having to be the one that writes all the content from scratch. Super awesome.
Man.
So many great people. My partner, event partner on this, Lauren Michaels Harris, is speaking. He started speaking a little over a year ago, and in 1 year, he booked himself 101 paid speaking gigs by himself. No agency, no anything. He figured out a system that works exceptionally well. I've been on coaching calls with him for other people, and I'm blown away that he's not charging people $10,000 because he's literally flipping it all over for them so they can go out there and be a professional immediately.
Man.
Okay? He's done this, and now it's been a little over a year. He's got 120 gigs already booked. He's speaking. He's going to show you exactly how he does this stuff. So if anybody is, you're a consultant, you're an agency owner, you're an entrepreneur, you're a serial entrepreneur, you're a solo entrepreneur, you're an author, you're a speaker, you want to speak your way to clients, you want to be seen as an expert in your niche, this event is for you because we're here to give you the opportunity to do exactly that. Right. And if you get the better package that Jesse got, is the VIP package. You actually speak on stage. You're going to get that recorded. You get a 3-minute sit-down interview so that somebody else is asking you a powerful question that makes you look like a rock star. You get a 6-minute on-camera sit-down interview. And what's beautiful about that is you can hand all 3 of those videos, the 3-minute on stage, the 3-minute sit-down, and the 6-minute like this, into a video editor, and they can make you a beautiful kick-ass speaker reel that makes you look like $1 million, right? That's the key to this. It's leveraging what works. You need leverage in your business, and that's why we created the Authority Maker Bootcamp for you. So we'd love for you to be there. I'd love to meet you in person and shake your hand, give you a hug, and thank you for coming. So it's the authoritymakerbootcamp.com. You can register your tickets, and we'll make sure to get you a link out to you. But yeah, go check it out, authoritymakerbootcamp.com. It's fantastic. I look forward to seeing you there. There's so many other great people speaking. I can't name them all off the top of my head. But yeah, like literally, it's going to be off the hook amazing. Plus I didn't mention we get professionally done headshots for all the VIPs. If you're in the VIP package, you can get to come to lunch with all the speakers at the VIP lunch. You can come to dinner with the speakers at the VIP dinner, and you can come to the VIP mixer. So there's going to be a business mixer. Everybody can hang out, and actually drinks are included in the business mixer. So come out. Authority Maker Bootcamp, it's in January on the 17th and the 18th in Las Vegas. And if you want to stick around for the VIP optional day 3, that would be on the 19th. We'd love for you to be there. It's going to be fantastic. authoritymakerbootcamp.com.
That's awesome, man. I will make sure we have a link everywhere we promote it. And, man, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great event. I'm looking forward to engaging and learning and adding some wrinkles to the systems that I help my clients with. So, man, it's incredible. I can't wait to hang out in Vegas with you guys for a couple of days. It's going to be a blast, man.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic. I'm so excited that you're going to be there with us, man. I really appreciate you being a part of it.
No, glad to. Thank you for your time today, man. Incredibly valuable insight. Man, I think the audience is going to be blown away and just ready to engage. So, man, thanks again for your time. Any closing words? Anything you want to say?
Oh, no. Just go out and take action, man. There's someone that you can help. There's people that are praying for you that need to get help from somebody that has your expertise. And the only way to solve that problem is to go out there and let it be known who you are, what you do, and why you do what you do. Okay? What do you believe in? Go tell them. Let them attach on to that, right? So that they can come to you as the go-to expert. That's what the Authority Maker Bootcamp is all about. Get your tickets. I'll see you in Vegas.
That's awesome. I love it, man. You can't help but sell, baby. That's good. It's not selling, man. Incredible.
Oh, but also, I just want to say thank you. It's been an honor to be on the show. And to everyone watching, God bless. And, go out there and do something with this stuff.
Dude, that's awesome. Thanks for your time, man. Thank you guys for listening to Sharpen the Hustle. And we look forward to the next episode. Talk soon, man.
Thank you.
You've been listening to sharpenthehustle.com podcast with Jesse Miller. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or to listen to past episodes, check out sharpenthehustle.com.